Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? Rockstar. So this is just going to be one top of the blogs today. We're going to call this a top of the blogs light because we only got a few topics, but you know, we'll probably be here for a second with these topics. First topic up, of course, we got to, it's the Puffy trial. It's what's happening. It's what everybody is talking about. Let's see. What was the most important, or what were the most, when it came to entertainment anyway, what were the most talked about points that were made since the last time I talked to you guys? Don Richard had testified and basically confirmed or validated a lot of Cassie's story when it came to her witnessing Puffy being violent towards Cassie, sexually, physically, emotionally. He talked to her crazy, treated her crazy. She saw it plenty of times. While Don Richard had testified, shortly after she had testified, Q from the group Day 26. You guys remember him? Mama named him Quanell Mosley. He was the more emotionally sensitive kid that we remembered from Making the Band. You guys remember how he was. Remember him and Dawn had a relationship. Her being from Danity Kane, him being from Day 26, them both being from groups that Puffy had created. We all saw it on reality TV. Well, now Q comes out and says that there was a party that he was at, and apparently he said that he was handed some drugs. Well, he was handed a drink, I think they said, and the drink was laced with drugs. Okay, he was not aware at the time. He said that when he woke up, everybody was laughing at him and kind of making him feel like a way, and he did not like that. But he had accused Don of handing him the drink. Now, I guess he's saying that Don was the person responsible for for drugging him, or maybe he's saying that Don did know that there was drugs in this alcohol, but he did imply that Don was at least a little bit in this mix when it came to this drink. Don, of course, has since denied that and said none of that happened. It's an emotional time. We all went through a whole lot at the time, but that never happened. She never gave him drugs. She would never drug him. She didn't even want to speak on the thing because they had a relationship. She was close to his family, out of respect for him and his family. She was just hoping that this kind of shit was not going to be surfacing, but it just sounds like it was just so much craziness around. Q's story could very well be partially true. Maybe he's remembering some things incorrectly. Maybe Don was not a part of it, but it's just so much drugs involved. When you hear these stories, whenever you hear these drugs involved, it's just like, how does everybody even really remember 100% what they were and weren't doing at the time? Because everybody was so fucked up and high, So she's denied it. He has since taken down that because he had posted this on his social media, but he has since taken that down. She's denied that it's happened, and we haven't heard anything else about it. Now, there was a Tony Busby John Doe that I'm thinking maybe Q is one of those John Does that Tony Busby was going to be representing, because the story kind of sounds familiar. There was a John Doe on Tony's Busby's that said that he was at a party. He wanted to be on Puffy's label. They told him he could come. It was a bad boy event. He went to the party. Somebody gave him a drink with drugs. He drank the drink. He woke up. He didn't know what was going on. Everybody was kind of laughing. Puffy was there. He pants down or something. And it made Q feel like he had maybe possibly given Puffy, it had made the John Does feel like he had possibly given Puffy a blowjob. Okay, so they were kind of all making it seem like he had given him this blowjob, even though he didn't remember any of it because he had been, he said that he was kind of like out of it or drugged or whatever. And, he was upset about it. They were all thinking it was kind of funny and laughing and stuff. He said that he was able to get away because it looked like they were going to continue on with whatever they was doing, but he felt like he needed some water. He told them he wanted some water and he left, and then he was able to escape. Okay, so that is a John Doe story that one of the people that Tony Busby is representing, and now we've got Q who came out with that story. So there's that might be connected. Last week when we were talking about the case and you guys were all like, Roxanne, it's going to be a really long case. It's not just going to be a couple of open shut kind of thing. This is going to be 8-9 weeks. We got a long way to go. And you guys are right. Each day when you hear something, there's some days their prosecution has better days, and then vice versa. Some days defense has better days. So yeah, I guess we all just need to sit back and just kind of watch and wait and see what happens. But again, as we hear these stories more and more about Puffy, gosh, like one of the Roxstars said in my comments, okay, Puffy is exactly who we thought Suge was. Okay, Suge is sitting up in jail for one incident that happened in that parking lot at the the fast food restaurant and all that, running them people over when he was about to be ambushed. But Puffy was for real about that life, and boy, at least I was, child. I just did not know that it was to this extent. As far as the prosecution building the case and showing where Puffy did use Bad Boy, this enterprising label, as this criminal enterprise. The fact that Puffy did use Bad Boy, this label, as this criminal enterprise, they are starting to build that up. So it's coming. Now, we did see Capricorn Clark did testify, and her testimony was really, really interesting, only because Capricorn, it's funny because you hear these stories of these people are talking about all of this shit that didn't happen, okay? Shit where they at the time thought that they were going to lose their lives because Puffy was just so hell-bent on catching Cassie in these lies. It seems like maybe 2009-ish all the way up to about 2013 around Puffy was just a really chaotic time. Okay, him and Cassie, they must have been the hottest and the heaviest at that time, and he was crazy with jealousy and just, it was just the shit that she was describing when she was talking about Puffy finding out about Kid Cudi and how she was really trying to help Cassie hide this relationship, buying the burner phone, making sure that he doesn't find out anything about it. Then he finally did find out about it and pretty much blackballed Capricorn Clark, they didn't fire her, but they made her pretty much resign, and she was not able to get a job anywhere else in the entertainment industry. I think people are going to get thrown off from Capricorn Clark because she kept on trying to get her job back. She left. She wasn't able to get any jobs, and she was, every now and then she would reach out to Puffy, be like, are you still mad at me? Are you still not talking to me? You still not going to do this? You still, and, he pretty much put her on ice until more recently when he started getting all this bad press. It was all these whispers about this lawsuit, and all that. Then they decided that maybe they would bring her back as somebody that would be good PR for Puffy, because she knew the old Puffy, so she kind of knows all of the shit that he's about, and she knows how to, look how successful they were. Who knew all this shit was going on in 2000? All this was going on. It amazes me that Puffy was able to be involved in all this shit that was going on and also still be able to turn out great music. Okay, artists out here putting out music, his label successful, bad boy, everybody, you know, parties, doing all. He was able to do all that, but he had all of this other shit going on, and it is honestly fascinating to me. It's the psychology part. When I was a psychology major for that hot second, like, these are the kind of things that fascinate me. Is like, what makes a person be this way, you know? And he was able to really, the duality of Puffy, him being able to be this music mogul and all this other shit going on over on the side, you know, and that they were able to keep all that chaos pretty much at bay. I mean, we heard whispers, but it's still like, it's crazy to me, you know. But Capricorn Clark is problematic in the way that, you know, why would you go back to somebody that you feel that your life was in danger with at the time? I feel like she was seduced by the excitement of all of that. A lot of them probably were. Because otherwise, why would you want, you know? And then, of course, this woman, you know, maybe she can't get a job in the industry and she really wants to be there. So maybe this is her way of getting her foot back in. I mean, Puffy needs her now, you know. I'm assuming that means that that's more money. Maybe that means that her name is taken off the blacklist. You know, maybe now she can kind of get out there and work, and, you know, so it's a complicated thing, but, you know, it's easier to believe. I believe her. I believe Capricorn Clark, but she is problematic. I think that it's more easy to believe and go by the witness, the friend that was Cassie's friend, that white chick that was Cassie's friend, who, after all that shit happened, she was like, I had to leave all them people alone. Like, they all fucking crazy. I ain't talked to Cassie since all that happened. Remember, that was how that girl was. She wasn't really in the entertainment industry. She was Cassie's friend, you know, and then she became friends with Puffy, and then they were all like kind of hanging as a, you know, all three of them together a lot. But you see how easy it was for her to leave all that alone, because she ain't in the industry. It's hard for people that are in that industry, who already are working, who, you know, who are there. It's hard for them to leave that, obviously. So she, even though Capricorn Clark is trying to get back with Puffy, you know, but girl, he did all this, and you said that you felt like he was gonna kill you, and he kidnapped you. He made you feel like you didn't have a choice. You had to go over Cassie's house. You had to do this. You had to do that. You had to, you know. So yeah, Capricorn Clark, to me, it depends on how the jury receives what she said. Because yeah, if you so scared of somebody, then you wouldn't fuck with them no more. You don't give a damn how much money they give you, because your life is worth more than that, I would hope, right? So yeah, that's that. Now, as far as the Christina Koran girl, the KK girl, who was the head, I mean, she was the head right under, pretty much under Puffy at Bad Boy. You know, she finally did put out a statement and saying that she didn't have anything to do with this. She didn't know anything about it. You know, I guess to her, she's saying that she was never involved, unless they have somebody that can put Christina somewhere, put KK somewhere. You know, they haven't even put Chris. She's not even on the witness list, so we don't expect to even hear anything from her. But she did put out a statement, because her name is coming up more and more. But yeah, you guys, it's building, but we starting to hear more about these kidnappings and making people feel, you know, his employees, and that's where they have to show, you know, that he was making his employees do all of this shit, all in the name of Cassie. I'm telling you, these people don't realize women hold we hold all the cards, and it's right between our legs, which is such a crass thing to say, but look at what men do. Everything crumbles down over the fact that this woman was with another man. This man done put everything on the line because he was upset about Cassie. All right, that's what it all boiled down to. And then we got all these drugs and all this other shit that kind of makes it even worse. But at the end of the day, this is a fucking story about a man who was so crazy obsessed about his woman and beating the hell out of her and could not just, this nigga just couldn't think straight. Okay? Yes, it has been a very, it's just, I just be like, damn. This case has really made me realize that it is so much shit going on out there in them, in them entertainment world streets that's just craziness, you guys, craziness. So yeah, we just keeping on going. You guys let me know what you're thinking about all of the testimony and stuff that's happened in these past couple of weeks. I mean, in this past week. And you know, how you feeling about it, how you thinking Puffy is gonna land thus far. All right, and let's move on to the next. Well, while we talking about lawsuits, I guess we can talk about Kevin Lyles. Okay, remember I told you guys back when Kevin Lyles stepped down and we was just so confused. It was just sort of like, Kevin Lyles, why is all of a sudden he's decided that he's stepping down and he's done? You know, he said he wants to focus on his family and his, I guess in this stage of his life, being a senior and whatever. It never made sense to me. Now we know why. Apparently he has been falsely accused, let him tell it, of sexual assault, and that there was money that a woman was trying to extort from him, and that she was lying about this. Okay. So, and I was just like, oh wow, you know, you now there are stories that you hear about some music moguls, and then there are others that you don't really hear. Kevin Lyles was never that one that I heard terrible stories about. Okay, I mean, Kevin Lyles is definitely a part of the whole hip hop, you know, as the explosion of hip hop, how big it's gotten, you know, as a culture and all of that. Him being that music label head, I'm sure he's had his share of stories as well, you know. But me, you know, when you think of like some of the horrible of the label, when you think about some of the horribles of the label heads that we've heard in the past, Kevin's name don't usually come up. Maybe you heard a thing or two, but he's been able to kind of escape the fray for the most part. Well, now he's saying, yeah, this woman is trying to extort me $30 million. I was like, now, Kevin, now who the lady is? Because did she just come out the blue? Something tells me maybe you know her. He says that he did know her. He's been knowing her for 26 years. So when you start reading in between the lines of these stories, it starts making you feel like, okay, there's way more to this story. Way more to this story. Because Kevin even said that she has been a friend to him and his family for 26 years. Okay. So I'm sure this thing goes way deeper. We just getting the surface. But I'm going to tell you what she's saying. Lady Luck, okay, mama named her Chanel Ayanna Jones. She said that she was signed to Def Jam in 1999, that she's 17 years old, that she had a pretty good career, you know, that she was pretty busy with them and all of that. Somewhere along the line, her and Def Jam didn't work out, okay? And then she wasn't on the label any longer and all of that. Now, she's saying that there was an instance where Kevin Lyles had forced her face down, like towards his crotch, like, you know, trying to make her give him a blowjob, and he is denying that. So that is what this case is about, is whether or not he forced her to give him a blowjob. Like I said, if they've been around each other 26 years and she's a friend to the family and everybody know him and all of that, you know, then I feel like there's more to this story, because like, where were you guys even in the instance where he could be shoving his face down, you know, your face down into his crotch? Like, were you guys seeing each other? Was there an affair? Was there this? Was there that? You know, there's going to be more to the story. Right now, you just deny and you don't add nothing else until parts of the story starts coming out. So we'll see if there is more to it. But he is denying it all. And as a matter of fact, he is saying that he is going to sue her because she is falsely accusing him. He says that he signed her when she was 17. You know, she had a pretty good career for the time that she did. Then when she got off the label, she turned to a life of crime, and, you know, shit was rocky, and he was never able to kind of help her get herself back on her right footing. And now fast forward to now, and now she's decided to come up with this story. They're saying because of the heat that's being put on Puffy, maybe it's now everybody believes that they can just go and attack any music mogul and get money out of them. So that's what Kevin Lyles and his people are saying, that this is just because of the Puffy case. And we are going to have to wait and see if anything comes of it. It hasn't made it to court yet, child. I don't know. When he said that he knew her 26 years, though, I was just like, okay, so you guys definitely have some sort of relationship. I'm not saying the man did it. Okay, I ain't heard no stories to say that to be able to say that I feel like he did or didn't do it. But it's just interesting. It's interesting, and I know that all these music label heads and all that are probably just dreading the fact that this is all going on, because it does feel like they all coming under the gun. When you got people out there saying, well, there's a whole bunch of white music execs, why they ain't getting pulled in? I don't know. All I know is the ones that's coming before us. I hope that they wasn't doing that shit. I mean, because I don't know what else to tell you. We've been black our whole lives. You guys know shit ain't never been fair for black people. Okay? I just need our black people, whoever is out there carrying on crimes. You guys gotta stop doing that shit. Like, you gotta know. It's worse for the black people. It's always worse for the black people. So why y'all keep on doing shit? Didn't want to get mad when they say, they're coming down hard on the black people. You knew that they was coming down hard on the black people already. Stop doing the shit. Stop doing the shit. So we're going to see what happens with that. And you guys let me know what you think about it next story. The Chrislies. You guys saw yesterday that the daughter Savannah was so excited. She said that YSAP had just personally called her and told her that he was working on paperwork to release her parents. Okay, he was pardoning them. And she was so excited, you guys. And I just sat and watched that, and I just smiled to myself, and I was like, hey, par for the course. This is exactly, YSAP gets to do what he wants to do. I don't know why we be so surprised every single time, okay? I didn't realize, though, that presidents are able to pardon anytime. I thought that presidents usually, because in the past, historically, when presidents are about to go out, like when it's time for the election to come up or when they're ending their term, that's usually when they go on this big pardon and blitz, okay? And they start going through and people are appealing to them, asking them to pardon their family members and all this, I thought that there was a certain time point when the president is able to actually go in and wipe these slates clean. But apparently that's not it. The president can go in and he can pardon anybody. And so he has pardoned these two, and they will be, according to Savannah, they were either freed last night or freed sometime today. And, I don't want to see people in jail and everything, but, if you did this shit, it wasn't like they were in there over some questionable, like if it would have been, for instance, this is just an example, but if there would have been like a person who was in jail because they were taken up for their child, but they killed somebody, okay? They killed somebody, so they in jail for manslaughter or whatever. They only in jail. I'm not a lawyer, so this scenario might not be right, but I'm just giving an example. They killed somebody, but there was some reasons why and everything, and certain people started, and the community, the general public understood why it was done. Then you kind of understand why people, why this could happen, why they might have been released or pardoned, because there were some situations in there that the jury couldn't get past, but maybe the president can be a soft heart and help out and okay. But when you have a person, when you pardoning people that was clearly guilty, you done stole money from these people, just getting money and doing all of this and all that. Like, what do those victims feel? The fact that all that happened to them, I don't even know if they were able to get paid back. And now the people that did it to them, they just get free. That's just crazy. But that's how pardons work. And all. One of the Roxstars was telling me yesterday, was like, Roxanne, just be patient. It's going to happen. YSAP is going to pay for everything that's happened to him, but we just all have to wait. We just have to wait. And I'm just going, It never feels like it. What's going to happen is YSAP is going to get away with all the shit that he gets away with, and then they are going to try to press charges, and they're going to try to make him answer for it, and then the nigga going to die. Because he's fucking almost 80, if he ain't 80 already. Okay? Not asking, not wishing that the man is dead and everything, but it just never feels like anything happens to YSAP. So anytime stuff happens, I just smile to myself. So just now, I just read when I was coming out here, he talking about, oh, Canada really wants to be the 51st state of United States. Canada wants to be a part of the United States so bad. Now, we done seen Canada almost, I mean, them people, how many times can they tell us, fuck us? They do not want to be a part of this country. We all know it. Canada all knows it. YSAP and his dumb people that follow him and believe everything that comes out of his mouth, them the only ones that like to believe the shit that he says. Canada is not trying to become a part of the United States, and they will not be a part of the United States. Okay? And so YSAP just says these things because he just loves, and you know, he thinks he's God. He really does. And him being able to do that, pardon things, I mean, that just solidifies, validates it for him that that's exactly who he is, you know? So, yeah, that pardoning, I mean, I didn't care one way or the other. Like, I don't know them people, so I don't care. But it's just ironic. It just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh because YSAP gets to do what he wants to do. He gets to do what he wants to do, child. Y'all saw that uplifting message that he posted for Memorial Day? That's y'all commander-in-chief, child. I'm telling you. It's anyway. Like I said on Instagram yesterday, white folks. And not all the white folks, but enough of the white folks for me to be able to say white folks. Okay? Just be doing anything, child. Let's move on to the next story. Lastly, I told you guys this wasn't going to be a long top of the blog. Lastly, you guys, Travis Hunter. Oh my God, is that his last name? Oh my God. Travis Hunter. I think that's also the rapper's name, right? But Travis Hunter is also the football player. Plays for Jacksonville, I think. Oh my God. You guys, you know, charge it to the mind, not the heart. Because I think I put Travis Hunter, but why did that not feel like that? And that is his name. Anyway, the boy with the big gums that then got married to the white chick. We already had a little issue with the white chick, but I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, when he was getting the Heisman trophy and everything, I was trying to get a man. I was trying to give sis a benefit of the doubt. You know, it is a hard time. You know, everybody's spotlight on him and all this. You know, and she's bound to make some mistakes, a young girl. But when they told us that these two had then got married and they didn't have a prenup, I just was like, you know, this prenup situation is, first of all, you know, me and Mr. ain't signed no damn prenup because neither one of us had shit when we got married. All right. So it was just sort of like, it was whatever. But if today, even with the little shit I got, I just got a little bit, y'all. And nigga ain't got it like that. But even today, if I were to get married, I would have a prenup. No, I can't have you taking my shit like this. You have to protect yourself financially. It is something that should be approached in a business-like way. It has nothing to do with the love that you feel for your potential spouse. It is only a means of protection. And I will tell my kids that, you know, I will tell anybody that if you feel that a prenup is necessary, then you absolutely should have one. And when you have the money that Travis Hunter, that boy got, you definitely should have had a prenup. I was so mad when I heard that at his parents, but then I was just like, listen, if his parents wasn't able to convince him, then you know what? All you can do is sit back and watch and let this man make the mistake that we all see coming. Listen, relationships already are tough, okay? When you ain't even got shit, relationships is tough. Put into the mix a relationship where, you know, it's all this celebrity, it's all this money, it's all this scrutiny. They're already starting off on a negative, okay? And there's going to be so much pressure on that relationship that you know, alone, that marriage is going to be under so much. And these kids are young and all of that. You know, for you to think that your relationship is going to be able to withstand that, and it could very well. But chances are their relationship could end. Their relationship could fall to the very same pitfalls that other people's relationships fall under, and they could face a divorce. And if they face a divorce, that girl gonna clean his ass out. Clean him out. I bet you she currently, right now as we speak, is working on a baby. And that's just gonna seal the deal. And this kid, you know, he's so busy on trying to prove to everybody else that their love is real and all. And I'm just like, child. The thing is, what people don't realize is when you are in love with somebody and everything is great, then everything is great, right? Until everything ain't great. Until shit get rough and rocky. All right? When you guys really start talking about divorce, okay, when that shit really comes on the table, the person that you thought was so great, that you loved to death, who would never treat you a certain way, who would never talk to you crazy, who would never come at you with these stories and would never put you in these situations to make you feel like, damn. When you are actually facing a divorce with somebody, you would be surprised at how a person can turn, how quickly they can change. And I know this firsthand. You know, when me and Mr. was, you know, when we was really kind of talking about not being together anymore and divorce was really like a real option, man, it was rough. That shit will surprise you. And you thinking that shit was going to be smoother than this. You didn't know that they was going to come at you like this, like that, you know. Next thing you know, they are, and the shit gets ugly and uglier and uglier. Child, it happens. All we can do is sit back and watch. A fool and his money is soon parted. Okay? And let's just hope that that boy ain't no fool. But I'm telling you, anytime that your parents let you walk down that aisle, because if your mama can't convince you, damn it, then can't nobody. If your mama can't convince you, maybe big mama, maybe granny. If they can't convince you, then that means that the nigga is on his own and good luck. And that's all we can do. I'm just like, child, he done went and bought that child that $600 Mercedes-Benz Brabus, what do they call it? The 300, 800, Brabus 800. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but listen, the man obviously can afford it. So I don't care that he bought this woman a $600,000 truck. But it is definitely a forecasting of what is more to come from him. He gonna continue to buy that girl a whole bunch of shit. And again, I hope it works out for them. But history has shown that these type of things usually don't. So I'm not wishing bad on them. I hope they live to be happy together for all their life and everything. But I'm just like, it ain't and where is the rest of the fucking family? Why are we talking about this? Do he even deal with his mama and daddy and big mama? Because damn, all the pictures that I've seen has just been him and a whole bunch of white folks. And you know, and again, I ain't got nothing against white folks. You know, my white rock stars out there, Rocky do love y'all. I do have a handful of white rock stars out there. I know. So I'm like not saying don't be trying to be, but I'm just telling you, y'all, some of y'all people, you just can't always trust, you know. But that's with anybody, not necessarily just white folks, but in this case. All right. So, yeah. Y'all let me know what you think about it, though. That truck was real nice. Real nice. But I'm just like, Travis, I hope you know what you're doing. This boy young. He don't know what he's doing. He'll figure it out, child. He'll figure it out. So all I can say, I can't be mad. I cannot be mad. That girl ain't did nothing. I ain't mad at old girl. Fuck. A come up is a come up. I can always appreciate a come up. But y'all let me know what you think about it. And I'm going to get on off of here. All right, you guys, that's it. I'm going to go back to the office, get this edited and up right now because this is Wednesday. I'm just doing this morning. And then I'll see you guys again on Friday. It's the end of the month, child. I'm trying to get it done. All right? We do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. next time, Roxstars. Bye.